True Sound Studios is in your ears.
Hey guys, what is up? It is Weezna, and as always, we are here in my studio, True Sound Studios, and today I have to show you one of my favorite EQs for vocals. So obviously, vocals being an extremely important part of any mix, you gotta really find a good EQ to be able to bring out the frequencies that are gonna help, cut through the mix and, just really give you the sound that you're looking for. So one of my favorite plugins for this is using the Waves API 550B Equalizer. I think it's really amazing on vocals, and let me show you why. Okay, so if we just start with some of these frequencies, to get that brightness out of a vocal, the 7K and 10K, those are frequencies regardless if I was going to use this EQ or not. Those are frequencies I try to get some of that brightness out of the vocal to help, be able to cut through the mix a little better. Now, boosting those frequencies, you are going to find that you're going to get a little bit more of that sibilance coming out. So you probably want to run some sort of de-esser, but it's definitely going to brighten up the vocal in such a great way. So first, let's go ahead and bump this up to 2 decibels. So a 2 decibel boost at 7K, and take a listen to this.
Yeah. So tell me who's hotter, who moves like smooth Java to smooth daughters. Wanna take me home to meet the mamas. I hate the drama, I'm scary honest. Barely hear my flow is deeper than the Marianas. I pair these.
Okay, so you should be able to hear that, the brightness really cutting through there. So now let's go to 10K now. Probably for this vocal is probably a little bit too much, but let's take a listen.
So tell me who's hotter, who moves like smooth Java to smooth daughters. Wanna take me home to meet the mamas. I hate the drama, I'm scary honest. Barely hear my flow is deeper than the Marianas. I pair these.
So you can really hear, you're really bringing out those S's in there. So it's definitely a reason why you would want to run a de-esser after this EQ, just to help cut down on some of that 10K that doesn't need to happen on those S's. So far for vocals, that 7 and 10K boost on there, that is really, for me and the vocals that I record, I really, really love that bump. So now let's go ahead and move down to the next band. So between 1.5, 3K, and 5K, those are the mid-range bumps that I generally do, somewhere around there. Like I said before, whether I'm using this EQ or not, those are kind of like the things that I tend to boost to help that vocal cut even more. So traditionally between like 3 and 5K seems to work really well, but recently I've been using 1.5K to help cut through the mix even more. So first, let me just go ahead and turn this back down to 0, and let's work on this band. So I'm gonna go ahead and boost 2 decibels at 1.5K, and let's take a listen.
So tell me who's hotter, who moves like smooth Java to smooth daughters. Wanna take me home to meet the mamas. I hate the drama, I'm scary honest. Barely hear my flow is deeper than the Marianas. I pair these.
So you should be able to hear when that comes in. It doesn't do as much, as I'd probably like. So let's go ahead to 3K. Let's listen to what this sounds like.
So tell me who's hotter, who moves like smooth Java to smooth daughters. Wanna take me home to meet the mamas. I hate the drama, I'm scary honest. Barely hear my flow is deeper than the Marianas.
Oh yeah, so that 3K, that is nice. I really like that. So let's go ahead, let's just try out 5K.
So tell me who's hotter, who moves like smooth Java to smooth daughters. Wanna take me home to meet the mamas. I hate the drama, I'm scary honest. Barely hear my flow is deeper than the Marianas. I pair these.
So the 5K works too. Probably that 3K sounds like it would work the best, at least on this vocal. Now, that is something to mention, obviously, depending on the microphone, the room, and all that. These frequencies are definitely going to change if you're, using these at home. Now, let me reset this back, and let's go down to the next section of frequencies here. So some of these lower frequencies, I wouldn't say I use those as much just for vocals. We're talking about vocals here. But this 500 hertz. Now, 500 hertz is really great for 2 reasons. It's great to boost and it's great to cut. So it is great to boost 500 when you hear a vocal that maybe sounds a little thin, maybe depending on the vocalist or the mic, it just doesn't have enough, beef behind it. So boosting 500 will really help bring out some of that fullness behind the vocal. Now, in the other way, if you cut 500 hertz, that is great when you have a vocalist who's really nasally. Now, 500 hertz, it's not always that, but maybe between 400 and 500 hertz, if you cut that out, maybe 2 decibels, you might hear a little reduction in that nasaliness. So let's go ahead and play around with that particular frequency. We'll go ahead and first boost it.
So tell me who's hotter, who move like smooth Java to smooth daughters. Wanna take me home to meet the mamas. I hate the drama, I'm scary honest. Barely hear my flow is deeper than the Marianas. I pair these.
So that's not as noticeable. It's probably because this vocal has enough of that 500 hertz in there, and he's not really too nasally. But let's just go ahead and reduce that just so you guys can hear what that sounds like.
Who's hotter? Who move like smooth Java to smooth daughters? Wanna take me home to meet the mamas. I hate the drama, I'm scary honest. Barely hear my flow is deeper than the Marianas. I pair these.
So, it's barely noticeable. Obviously, 500 hertz, that's not going to be necessary for every vocalist out there. But it is one of those great frequencies, and the reason why I really like using this, I feel like I can get a majority of what I want to boost and cut out of one plugin, which, for time's sake is something that I really enjoy. And then finally, the very bottom band. Now, I probably don't use this as much. Maybe if you find that you have a vocal where maybe some of the low grumbly stuff is going on, you could slightly reduce that using this last band. I would say for vocals, I probably don't use this band as much, but let me go ahead and just play this for you, and I'll kind of move it around so you can hear what it's doing to the low end on our vocal.
Who's hotter? Who move like smooth Java to smooth daughters? Wanna take me home to meet the mamas. I hate the drama, I'm scary honest. Barely hear my flow is deeper than the Marianas. I pair these sonnets and the people love it. I keep the evil fumbling. I got a question for the reaper, I'ma keep 'em coming. I keep her coming like a creek or something. I see the beastie creeping, but I'm fleet of footing, so I keep 'em running. Lethal stuff.
So you can hear, you could use it as, to reduce some of that low end. Once again, it's not my favorite thing to use to get rid of some of that. For the most part, though, this EQ is really, really wonderful for vocals. Now, something I do want to mention with this EQ. Now, over here, most of these, in fact, I think just about every Waves product, at least that I have so far, has this analog button. It creates that analog sound. Now, the problem is if you have this vocal cranking loud and you have 10, 15 of these on your project, you are going to notice some noticeable noise. So for vocals, typically, because I have an analog console, I do generally turn that off. But, it's obviously up to you guys. You will notice it more and more as you stack more and more plugins that have that analog emulation on there. And then finally, some other things you can do. You can change the polarity. For me in vocals, I don't really use that too much. The output is nice. So let's say you go ahead and you're starting to boost 7K here, you boost 3K here, and maybe you boosted 5K there, or 500 there, sorry. So now you boosted 2 decibels, 2 decibels, 2 decibels, you're gonna start noticing just an overall increase in output. So you can take this knob and back this down a little bit, just to kind of bring it back to unity or wherever you had it before. And then at the very bottom here, you can go ahead and just essentially bypass this whole EQ. That is it. That is the API 550B. This EQ ends up on almost every single one of my vocal tracks. I really love it. It does exactly what I want to do in my full-time recording studio, and I just really feel like it gives me the result that I need. So one last time, let me go ahead and let me EQ this the way I would actually EQ this if it was going to be for a client. So probably keep it something like this. Maybe we'll just back this down a little bit. So let's go ahead and take a listen to this, and I'll obviously pull it in and out of the mix and bypass it for you.
So tell me who's hotter, who move like smooth Java to smooth daughters. wanna take me home to meet the mamas. I hate the drama, I'm scary honest. Barely hear my flow is deeper than the Marianas. I pair these sonnets and the people love it. I keep the evil fumbling. I got a question for the reaper, I'ma keep them coming. I keep her coming like a creek or something. I see the beastie creeping, but I'm fleet of foot and so I keep them running.
So there you guys go. You can hear what that EQ does when it's engaged. It really helps make those vocals cut right through the mix. As of today, I have over 130 videos on this YouTube channel, so go ahead and check it out. There is a ton of content. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you can use this plugin and the information to make your vocal sound even better. So thank you for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, click that like button and consider subscribing for more content. So not only do I make YouTube videos, but I also produce tracks and I can mix and master your music. So once again, thank you for watching this video. I'm Weezna and True Sound Studios is in your ears.